Hello everybody, thanks for joining me. My name's David and this is my channel. Today's video I've called You Are Not Your Thoughts, You Are Your Vibration. These two need to be truly understood. So we'll start at the beginning of creation. Here we are. If you can just imagine erasing all of your thoughts for a second, your story, all that you think you are, that you have put together to create an individual personality. Just for a second, don't worry, it'll be there for you when you're done. And just imagine the presence that you are. I like the word presence or awareness. Just being aware of this moment. Right? I'm not the thinker, I'm the one that watches the thinker, if we've heard this before. I'm not the mind, I'm not the thoughts, I'm just the awareness and the presence of God, right? The presence of the Father, the presence of the Son. You can even be the presence of the Holy Spirit, right? You are the Holy Trinity. Somewhere inside you, you are all that is. And if you let go of the thoughts, let go of the stories and the definitions and the beliefs just for a second, and just relax and be. No longer have, just be. Then you will feel your vibration rise a little bit. The mind will slow. No more stories. And you can just be here as the presence of consciousness, the presence of all that is, the presence of love. Nothing to need, nothing to want, nothing to attack, nothing to change, just the awareness itself. The witness of existence. I exist. That's it. I exist. And we just let go of everything else. Now, regardless of how difficult this is, I recommend using this practice, because this is really what meditation is. It's just letting go of all the stories. Like I said, don't worry, they'll be there for you when you're ready to pick them back up. Just letting go of all the stories, all your future, all your past, just slipping back into this one moment that just simply says one thing: I exist. The awareness of all that is. You are aware of everything right here, right now. The presence of the Father within. Such a beautiful feeling. Now, if we look at the idea of that presence, it wants to create. We want to create. And in order to create from this perspective, we decided to create another, so to speak, perspective. And shrink it down or move into a smaller perspective, an individual perspective that is going to have a story in the thoughts. And that became you, or me, or you see. Now, all in all, we are one presence. But as we moved into that individual perspective, we created a new perspective. Now, it's important to understand that new perspective, me, you, we have our own vibration. That's the free will. Vibration is everything. We have our own vibration. As we come here, that vibration is probably a little bit low. Therefore, we are seeing things in a very separate way, because the more lower your vibration is, the more separate you will see the world and yourself, and the more you'll see yourself as a body instead of that presence anymore. Now, the other part of us, a bigger part, that presence that we are, is still a non-physical, still flowing, still being, still aware, and it holds still that high vibration that we once had. Now, so what I want you to imagine, there's two of you, one with a lower vibration, one with a higher vibration, both you, so to speak. But the more separated you are from that perspective of you, the more you forget about it, the more it doesn't seem to exist anymore. And now we just become this individual self. We call that the ego self. But it's there. Now, from this ego perspective, we both, still connected, will never truly separate, ever. That's why there's no issues, no problems going on. We'll just shoot right back up and we will connect again. But we want to create, we want to extend that which is all that is by experiencing more of all that is. The universe experiencing itself. I think we've heard that saying before. It really is a miracle. Now, how do we create? Well, we create with thoughts. And now this higher perspective is in receptivity of really high thoughts. The higher your vibration, the more you will be able to receive all that is. In other words, you will be in the receptivity, because to create is to communicate. You will be in a receptive place to be able to communicate with a lot more of frequencies of who we are and so forth and so on. Things will be more connected and flowing. So there's that higher perspective that is in receptivity of all of that. But then here we are here, and we are in receptivity of different thoughts. More separated thoughts, more lower thoughts that we would call it. So we are creating more from a lower perspective. That's why everything feels so separate, or fearful, or afraid, or worried, or frustrated. You see, we're in the receptivity from that lower vibration only of certain thoughts. So where your higher perspective is in a receptivity of so many thoughts, because all thoughts are still here. We're not thinking these thoughts, we're receiving these thoughts from all that is. All thoughts, thought worlds, we're in receptivity of. Now we're only receiving a very small amount. Whereas that bigger perspective is receiving much, much, much more. But we are still connected to it. And we're creating. And here we are creating a world from this lower perspective, so to speak, from a separate perspective, and that's what we're seeing. Boom, boom. And we have a story. And our story is a collection of thoughts. If I can convince you that your past, as much as it doesn't seem like it, is just a story and a collection of thoughts. It's not real. It's just a thought structure. That's it. That's why it can be changed. The only thing that matters is right now, this moment. Your body, how you feel about your body, is just thoughts. That's it. It's just a thought structure. It's a story that you have created about your body. And your body is then reflecting it back, because that's how it works, right? Whatever we decide based on the thoughts we receive, we take those thoughts, we create with them, and our world becomes them. Now, these two parts of us are connected. So we can receive higher thoughts in order to create new realities from our higher self. But we can't do it if we're really low. We're not in the receptivity of that part of us. So we have to raise our vibration. That's what helps us understand that we're not our thoughts. We receive our thoughts. And from this perspective, we are going to receive lower thoughts, mostly from past. We can be in the receptivity of receiving thoughts from other realities that coexist with us. Maybe even dark realities, so we can receive dark thoughts, or we can receive separate thoughts or fearful thoughts. You never know really where your thoughts are coming from, to be honest with you. You're in receptivity of a lot of different thoughts. But this is where the issue becomes. We receive those thoughts, we create the world that then reflects them back, and then we believe that we are the story. We believe that we are these thoughts, just like you believe that you are your past. And that's what keeps us stuck. That's what creates this individual personality that says, this is who I am. But if you look close enough, you'll see it's just thoughts. That's it. Just thoughts. And they're not even yours. A lot of those thoughts that create your life are based on thoughts you've been receiving that you don't even know where they're coming from. You're just in receptivity of them. You allow them in and you become them and you believe they're you. And that's what we do. And that's what gets us stuck. I believe I'm this. I believe I'm this. I believe I'm this. I believe I'm this. I believe I'm poor. I believe I'm no good. I believe I'm small. Do you see? And wow, I can tell you from my past, this is what happens, so that's why I believe it. And we create this whole story that doesn't work and that our inner, bigger perspective doesn't agree with, so we feel negative emotion because of the variance between the two. Able to follow that? You are not your thoughts. You're not your story. And you are not your past. It can all just go away. And that's what that meditation at the beginning is all about. Recognizing I'm not that. And then now, as you no longer believe that you are this story, that you are these negative thoughts, that you are all these problems of your past and so forth and so on, your vibration will rise of its own accord because you're no longer keeping it down based on a belief structure that you don't want. And as it rises, you'll be more in receptivity of the thoughts of your inner being and your broader perspective. You'll start receiving them. And as you start receiving them, and you'll feel that love moving through you because your inner being, oh, I love you, I appreciate you, thank you, I want you to come next to me, I want you to co-create with me. And now you'll be in receptivity of new thoughts, loving thoughts, thoughts that match that of God, so to speak, as Jesus talks about. You share thoughts with God. You share thoughts with your source. And then from that perspective, you'll feel more of who you really, really are as a creator. No longer will you feel small, you'll feel confident, you'll feel big, you'll feel expansive, you'll feel love, you'll feel appreciated, you'll feel powerful, you'll feel kind, you'll feel compassionate. Do you see? Simply because you have raised your vibration by no longer believing you were your story, that you were the thoughts that happened to be in receptivity that you were receiving. Once you no longer believe it, your vibration will rise, and now you'll start receiving new thoughts. From that place, you'll realize who you are. Oh, yes. You see. And now you will create a new based on connection with your higher perspective, matching those thought structures, matching that vibration. As that vibration rises more and more, you will start creating together, flowing together. What you ask for, the higher mind will bring to you, and there'll be a perfect co-creation between the two of you as you raise your vibration up to meet it, to recognize it, to feel it, to experience it. And now that presence that you are, that seemed very small, is going to become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And happier and more joyful. And that world out there is going to shift and change. It's not going to look like the sporadic mess that it is from a lower vibrational standpoint, because your story of it, your personality of it, your interpretation of it will be different. You'll be more interpreting it from that holy perspective. And that holy perspective sees that world very, very differently. And you will now be able to see it from that perspective as well. And you will see, wow, this is different than I thought. I needed to remember that I was a vibration. And then I needed to raise my vibration as close as I can to match the bigger presence that I am. That also holds the vibration. So we can get more and more on the frequency of each other. But I am not my thoughts. My thoughts help me create, but I much rather create from my higher perspective than a lower perspective. And as you watch your vibration, let go of the thoughts, let them come in and out. No big deal, just like the gills of the fish opening to allow the water in. No big deal, I'm just moving through my thought world until I raise my vibration at a high enough place so then I can start receiving the thoughts of my higher being, my broader perspective. You'll know the difference when you feel them, when you think them. They're more loving. They're not as resistant. They don't go back to the past. They're I am thoughts. Feeling good, flowing, loving. They're more general, more broad. And as you move and merge more from your vibrational standpoint instead of your thinking standpoint, then the world will shift. The thoughts will shift. All will shift because you'll be more in line with who you are instead of who you're not. Does that make sense? Take that with you. Let it resonate with you. Sit with it. Ponder it. Ask for the guidance of your higher self, and the answers will come more and more and more. And remember, you are not your thoughts. You are your vibration. Thank you so much for giving me this gift to be able to share this with you. Of course, always to be able to receive back for myself. That which we share, we become more and more and more. And hit the like button if it's speaking to you. And continue to subscribe. And as always, my unconditional love and appreciation.